Alright boys, today I'm going to be explaining to you every single technique in Grand Peace Online. I will separately showcase the, Rokushiki techniques because they're different. In my opinion, they're not very viable unless you have that fighting style. So, if you want to see all the Shigan extenders and the bazooka extender, because I didn't put this in the video, but the bazooka extender is in there too, and you can go check that out in Shifted's video. But yeah, in this video I'm going to be showing you techniques that I came up with and techniques that are very common and easy to use. Basically all the ones that are practical in almost any situation, and ones that are, well, one that is new that I haven't seen anybody do yet. So first thing I'm going to explain is the difference between these two categories of techniques. Now, a technique that is strictly PvP and combat and skill based is different from a technique that is mind games. I like to call it mind games. But yeah, first is skillful ones, which is a lot easier in my opinion because they're basically muscle memory if you get it down. But the mind games are not. You have to use those specifically in a certain situation, and they're very hard to explain, and I'm bad at explaining them. So first things first, we have white walking, which is going to be your most common and used combo extender. That is not actually a move. It is simply walking through your opponent. Well, actually more like running through your opponent as you're M1ing. On the fourth M1 you start running and finish your M1 combo. They should get like hit right back into whatever move you want. Very easy, very simple, but it does take a little bit of practice to get used to because you have to get the positioning. What the heck was my words? You have to get the positioning right, and after that you have to, just get it down in muscle memory. But once you do it, it's pretty easy. But it's not a combo extender into M1, so you have to use a move like, say, amputate. These dummies don't have fling, but they would be there. And you can basically just combo extend with that. Now, that is probably the easiest one, that's why I taught it first. So, honestly, I just get used to that because it's the easiest and, in my opinion, the best. Things like Shigan Extend and things that you need Rokushiki for are not going to be in this video because, number one, I don't feel like going back to first C to get it. If you're in BR, you're probably not always going to have Rokushiki. I mean, you will have it, but not all the time. So yeah, these are things you can just do with anything. This is another tech. It is the dragon one, which is kind of hard to do. You gotta go like this, and on your fourth M1 you look backwards and M1 while you're deploying. It's very hard to pull off, and you gotta stand really far away for it, and if you're on good ping you can usually pull it off, but it does take a bit of practice, and I haven't really tried it in a very long time. As you can see, I'm really rusty. So, yeah. But yeah, anyways, this next tech is a PvP tech. I don't really know if it actually extends into anything, but we can test it. It is really good for mobility, though, which is the main reason I use it. If you guys don't know, Cyborg has Cyborg Flight right here. This thing is busted, right? Sometimes I just use it for mobility, like I said. You can just do that. It's very simple, but you just boost yourself since the first frame second, like split second of Cyborg Flight boosts you forward a lot. You can use it as kind of like a fast, really fast double GPO, but it's very good and it sends you flying. So say you have a move that does a bunch of knockback. I don't think I have one, but you can just do this, into that, straight into this. Into a white walk combo, and blah blah blah. But it is really good, especially if you're far away from your opponent and you need to get to them fast. You can basically instantly M1 them. So, go like that, into that. I haven't seen this tech used ever, so personally I think it's really good. It's very good for closing the distance really fast. Sadly, it's not in BR yet, but in actual games like, what's it called? Arena, I think? Yeah, Arena. It'd be very good. You can just close the distance super fast, straight into M1, and it's very hard to predict. Alright, Yeah, this next uplift tech is it's not really based on anything, but it's kind of useless. It just exists. You want to like spin around. You want to spin around while you're uplifting, and you kind of want to like look away, but I don't think it does anything except remove your move cooldown. Because if you compare it here, there's a cooldown on like that little split second delay. So let me try this. Yeah, as you can see, it is instant instead of taking a second. Here, I'll try it with this straight M running. See, as you can see, it takes slightly more time, but honestly, it's not that useful. It just does kind of remove a little bit of the cooldown on your, end lag delay. So yeah, that's what it does. It is uplift. I don't know what to call it, but I'll just call it uplift whirlwind because I don't think there's a. You just spin around. That's about it. But yeah, if you want to see the Shigan ones and Rokushiki techs, I don't know if they work anymore because they nerfed it, but if you want to see that, go check out my friend Shifter's video because he already made a video on that. So anyways, now we're going to be getting into the mind games techniques. Now these are a bit more strategic. You got to be calm and you got to be very I guess tactical in your thinking. Say if you're in a BR game, you have health pots, right? This is a very easy mind game you can use. I see some people using it sometimes, but not all the time. Sometimes if you have a close quarters fight, like they're trying to M1 you, right? And it's early game or something and they don't have like a really OP fruit. These guys, usually, if you're really good at PvP, you can take a health pot and start drinking it, right? Because once you drink a health pot, your enemy is just going to be like, oh, hey, he's wide open, he's healing. So they try and hit you. And since you can cancel your drinking of health pots, you can predict, like when they do that, you do have to have somewhat good ping, but you can predict when they're about to hit you and counter them. You kind of have to move forward, so say I'm right here, my enemy starts deppling towards me, I stop my health pot, go forward, and M1. Because that way you're closing the distance, so they're trying to M1 you from a farther distance than you were supposed to be. Another mind game is uplift PBing. This was done on me a bunch of times when I was fighting against drags. So people, when they're fighting you and they're in a combo, their first instinct is to M1, because once you're done with your combo, they can just start their own, right? These baboons usually just M1, so if you can predict the timing on the end lag of a up tilt, then you can predict when they're going to M1. And if you can predict that, you can block and PB and start a new combo. So a lot of people do this in arena, or not arena, BR as well. It's very, very common. You don't even have to uplift into it. You can just do this, wait, PB, right? Get up and you PB. You gotta predict when they get up, and usually these monkeys just, spam their M1s. So it's another free combo extender if you can do that. Say somebody's gonna PB your, I don't know, candy cane freeze. Like you have candy cane, they're using candy cane in Battle Royale. You have a candy cane, you freeze the ground. What are they gonna do? Perfect block it, obviously. So you put it right there, and when they go and try and PB it, you hit them very easily. Just pretend like I'm gonna hit them and they're gonna PB it, like they're guaranteed to perfect block this because they know it's coming. What I'm gonna do is bait their PB, do that, and then hit them again, because usually once somebody misses a perfect block, they just unblock, right? So, sometimes that works. It's not always guaranteed to do anything good. Sometimes it might just mess you up, but it's a very skilled technique. I've seen a few people use it, but again, it does take a lot of practice and a lot of knowledge in the game to know when and where to use that. So yeah, that is all the PvP techs that don't require fighting style. If you want to see the Rokushiki ones, they are in my boy Shifted's video, so go check that out. I'll probably put some clips on screen or something, just to demonstrate the things that I couldn't explain very well. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.